Hey, we're going to do this in for a little bit of a treat, you guys. Eric and I have recorded a few phone calls. He's got one, I've got a few of them. A couple of my calls are 2.5 minutes. I'm going to play two of them. I'm going to play one, take some notes or questions. I thought it'd be better if I just played all three and just maybe write a question or two you might have about each one, and then let's just dialogue. Then Eric's got a call. Let's listen to his recorded call, dialogue as well, and then obviously we can all add some input and stuff. But I do want to start off and say this. I was telling Eric and Kathy before it started, I'd never went and clipped a call on Zoom. Well, over the weekend, I was getting these ready and I clipped, and could have sworn when you look at it, it's telling you it's clipping this. It clipped my call. The best call I had was about a 7-minute call. I got the Z meeting set for this Friday, but anyway, I got three other decent calls. And Kelly, one of them's your script, and I'm going to show you when we're done. I've taken your script and just kind of tweaked it. And those are all the calls I'm going to make this week. Just kind of tweaked it a little bit, but I used one of your calls and it did set an appointment. So anyway, a couple different ones. So let's get this started. I'm gonna
So it worked, so you're gonna change it.
what's that?
I said, so it worked, so you're gonna change it?
I'm gonna tweak it. Tweak, not
I'm
change.
just teasing.
One of the
Okay.
things I want to share while everybody's getting ready to watch, look, beautiful picture, by the way, Sean,
Thank you, brother.
is I want you to understand two things about agent attraction calling before you listen to what he's about to share. Sean's going to spend a minute or two saying what he learned to say. By the way, he's probably going to warm people up, and if you're comfortable doing that, great. But I want you to look for the contacting phrase in what you're listening to, number one, and then understand that the way you respond to people's knee-jerk reaction is going to come with experience. We'll give you a basic thing to say. It works all the time. It works 100% of the time the way it should work. So we can give you a basic thing to respond with. But over the course of time doing this, you're going to get better at other things that feel more genuine to who you are. And so you're going to listen to some calls from someone that is seasoned at doing this. And I don't want you to think that he was seasoned on the way into the pot. He became seasoned over time.
Yeah, appreciate that, Eric. And I think you guys will realize there is no skill set into what I'm doing. I'm simply following a script. And obviously, when you start your relationship building, that could go off in different directions. And all I've learned, and maybe you'll see that, just being me. I'm not trying to change anything, but I'm just trying to be real, genuine, and honest, and looking for the person that's looking for me. So here's the first call. Let you listen. It's only about 2 minutes here with Brittany.
Hey, Brittany.
Hey, Brittany. Hey, my name is Sean Strock with eXp Realty. How are you doing today?
Good. You.
Wonderful. Thank you for asking. Hey, I just want to ask you real quickly, be respectful of your time. Do you have maybe just about 2-3 minutes for a couple quick questions?
Sure.
Yeah. First of all, oh my gosh, Brittany, I want to say congratulations. You look like, from what I can gather, you've been in real estate 1.5 years. Is that correct? Okay. I've been doing this for quite a while. Somebody who comes out of the gate doing 10 million in volume. Oh my gosh, Brittany, top 1% of any agent who's come out of the gate. Do you mind me asking, is this coming from either a background where you have a strong sphere of influence? Or how did you get this? Okay, what were you doing prior to getting into real estate?
Oh, nice. I was running medical facilities.
Okay. And what had you leave that industry and move over to real estate?
I don't know. This might be. I'm sorry.
That's all right. I got
building. Yeah. I'm actually in the middle of a staging to get a listing ready.
Oh, right now.
Schedule a time, maybe around 3:00.
You know what? I was just going to say today at 3. I can't do it today. Could we jump on maybe a 15-minute call tomorrow? Boy, I would love to network with you and talk about mastermind support. Do you have any time tomorrow or Wednesday for maybe a 15-minute call?
Wednesday probably won't work, but Tuesday, or if you want to send me a calendar link, we can do that.
Yeah, I will do that. You go get that staging set up. I'll shoot you a calendar link again. Congrats. I look forward to talking to you, Brittany. Thank you so much. All right, bye-bye. Yeah. It's kind of interesting, right? If you could take with this approach, I hope it makes it easier for you to make the call going, I'm not trying to talk about it.
Yeah, so I'll kind of pause right there. We can chat about these in just a minute.
Just a minute.
Let me why am I echoing?
Go ahead. You're fine now.
Okay. All right. Let me go to this second call. Feel free to make any notes about that one.
Hello, Evan. Hey, my name is Sean Sturrock. I'm with eXp Realty. How are you doing today? Wonderful, man. Hey, thank you for asking. Hey, real quick, do you have about 3 minutes, Evan, if I kept it nice and quick? Ask you.
Sure.
Yeah, well, first, I just wanted to ask you just a couple questions, man. First of all, you look like you've been doing this for about 5 years. I just want to verify, is that about right for your tenure?
Right.
Okay. First of all, congrats, man. It looks like you've maintained a very consistent business over the last several years regardless of the industry and what's going on. So first of all, congrats, man. It looks like you're up around that 8 million mark. Is that correct?
On market, I guess so.
Yeah. Well, fantastic. May I do this? I don't want to take up a lot of your time. Like I said, 3 minutes. I can even make it 30 more seconds. Man, I love to, first of all, network and mastermind with successful agents. You've been doing this 5 years. You're hitting on all cylinders, doing this kind of volume in today's market. At least to me, dude, that puts you in the top 5%, maybe 10% in the entire industry. Would you be open, Evan, you and I, just set maybe a 15-minute call the next day or two, man? I would love to network with you, mastermind, dig into kind of what you're doing, what we're doing, see if there's some things we can do to synergize and help one another. Would you be open to that?
Sure.
Wonderful. And I'll just kind of plant the seed real quick. I always say just take 30 more seconds. The 7 things that I think we as agents need, and we'll go over this on our call, are 1, like training, mentoring, and coaching. 2, culture. 3, opportunity. 4, leads. 5, technology and AI. 6, kind of reasonable fees. And then 7, support. We can kind of touch on those and see what areas, that you're kind of may need some assistance in, and we can just see if we can network. But what would be a good time, man, for you and I to jump on a call here in the next day or two for 15 minutes?
Anytime after 4.
After 4 in the afternoon? Well, what if we made it, how about Wednesday? You want me to call you like at 4:15 your time?
Sounds good.
Okay. I will send over just my contact info so you have it there, and I'll put down to buzz you at 4:15 on Wednesday. We'll keep it down to 15 minutes and see what we can do to help each other. Sound good? Hey, man, congrats again, Evan. Have a blessed day, buddy. Thank you. All right, bye-bye. And I'll let you guys know how many of these.
Okay, let me do one more call. Feel free to make a note or something on that one. Here is one more call.
Hello, Jamie. Hey, my name is Sean Sturrock here with eXp. How are you doing today? Doing wonderful. I just want to give you a quick buzz and quick question for you. Jamie, have you ever considered what it'd be like if you added 1 to 2 additional deals per month to your business?
Of course.
Yeah. Well, I was just going to say, the reason I'm calling, obviously I see that you've had some pretty good volume there in the past, and it's dropped down considerably. And I have a system, and I'm just calling, keep it real brief, 20 seconds. I'm working with a bunch of agents who are partners with me now. We're using a simple system, Jamie, to generate consistent, motivated leads and not the usual time wasters. I wanted to see if you'd be open to see how that's working right now. Not at this moment, but if you and I could set up maybe a 15-minute call tomorrow or sometime next week, I'd love to show you how I could add minimum, Jamie, 8 to 10 additional deals in the next 12 months. Would you be open to that?
I would.
Wonderful. I know we don't know each other. We can definitely build our relationship on the next call, but what would be a good time if we just set up a 15-minute call or a Zoom, if that's better for you? I'd always love to be able to see you face to face if you're okay with that.
Sure. Monday. Nope, Monday. Let me think
You got it.
here. Wednesday.
Okay, Wednesday, November 5th. All right. That's crazy. November. God, the year has flown by. Weird.
Like maybe the morning, 10:30, 11.
Yeah, if you can do 11, I could do that Wednesday. And if and I can see you've been doing this for about 2.5 years. Is that about right?
Here in Texas, yes, sir.
Oh, here in Texas. So you were an agent somewhere else beforehand?
I was an agent in Colorado some years ago, between about 2007 and 2015. And then I took a break while the kids were in middle school and
Oh,
sort of thing.
good for you. What part of Colorado? I am in Colorado right now. what part of Colorado were you?
Denver.
Oh, okay.
Minister area.
Yeah.
Are you familiar with all of Colorado?
I'm pretty much. I've been here for about 2 years. I was in Dallas for 30 years. My wife and I, on a whim, we're big believers, just praying one day, and we came up and she said, I feel like God's telling us to move to the mountains of Colorado. I'm like, what? I mean, my wife is a beach girl, but anyway, being up here for 2 years. Are you familiar with some of the little towns up here? Ever heard of Buena Vista? Buena Vista, Colorado? Okay, I'm 15 minutes from there. We're at a place called Hartselle Ranch of the Rockies, like a huge area sitting on 2 to 3 acres, about 250 homes. Just think about it. I went from Dallas to 9,600 feet high. So it is a whole nother animal, but we love it, Jamie. Absolutely. What moved you to Houston from Colorado?
So I'm an East Coast girl, born and raised, and then my husband was a native Coloradan, and I just never took to it. So after 20 years in Colorado, we came to visit our son here in Texas, who was in his training for the Army.
Oh, thank you for your service.
Yeah, and we fell in love with the people. Honestly, the kindness. That was down here was just amazing. So we, and of course, the minute he said that, I jumped on the real estate and told him, "Look at this versus where we're at." And we made the move.
Yeah, there's definitely some advantages to living in Texas. The only thing that I really don't miss is just that heat and humidity. I don't miss that part. But other than that, I agree. Love so much about Texas, friends, all that.
In the mountains. So you're enjoying the true beauty of what Colorado.
Oh, absolutely.
We're in the suburbs, in the flat area.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's not quite the same as where you're at.
No doubt. But may I ask you this? Because I see that last year, you were at almost $1 million average on 4 to 5 home sales. What changed? Were you focusing on the luxury market, or you just come across some contacts who were just looking in that area? Because I see the volume's down. Your volume's down, but also just your transactions almost cut in half your sales price. What do you?
Hi. Good. How are you?
All right. So I ended up starting with the small outfits.
Okay.
And stayed with them. And then I was having a really good year. And I knew that I was not going to be able to sustain because I was not with the right company that gave me the kind of support I need.
Okay.
And so I pivoted, and in spring of last year, and I started talking with Gary Green. I mean, it took them about 6 months to get me over.
Are you stubborn like that, Jamie?
They put together a really good package that I really love. I'm really happy with the past. I mean, I've been with them now for about 4 months, and they've got me moving in a direction that I should have been moving on when I was doing really well already, and I knew it. So I just I moved too slow, and I'm paying for it. So that's okay though. Because I haven't stopped working, and I'm not any less hungry.
I love it.
I know that it'll come back.
And do you mind me asking, just before we, talk next Wednesday, but just curious, when you said they offered you a good package, do you mind me sharing? What do you mean when you say good package?
I'm satisfied with my split, which of course is first and foremost.
Okay.
And I'm satisfied with my split because I have full access marketing support. I think it, they create it. And
And I did the same thing here. I accidentally clipped it. This goes maybe another minute and a half. We touched a little bit on the funnels. It kind of grabbed her attention. I've got a meeting set up for 10 a.m. this Wednesday. I've got 3 Zooms from all of that, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. So anyway, those are just a couple quick different calls, a couple different approaches. And I've taken, you guys, just real quick, Kelly's script, which by the way, I love Kelly, but let me show you real quick before we jump over here to Eric. So here's what Kelly said she was using, right? Hey, whoever, hey, Kathy, Sean Starrock here with EXP. How you doing today? Quick question. Have you ever considered what an extra 1 or 2 closings a month could do for your business? The answer, right? I'm working with agents who are using a simple system to generate consistent, motivated leads, not the usual time wasters. And I use that and set an appointment. Here's what I'm going to do all week. Hey, Eric, this is Sean Starrock with EXP Realty. How are you doing today? Most people say, great. How are you doing? And I'll usually respond back. Hey, I want to be respectful of your time. Would you have about 2 or 3 minutes for a quick call? Almost 80% of the time, they say yes, if not 90%. And then I'm going to now say, have you ever run the numbers on what an extra 1 closing a month would do for you and your business? I see your average price over the last 12 months has been, let's say, $400K. Do you realize if you sold just 1 more home a month, that'd be an extra blank that you would be paid on? And then let them respond. What kind of an impact would that have on your life if you made an extra blank in the next 12 months? It's kind of where I'm going with it. And because I think they're going to be open to this. And then I'm going to say, hey, I know the Houston area has a lot of new construction. Do you sell many new construction homes? I'm going to try to say a statement, always ask a question. Statement, question. The reason I'm asking is I'm working with agents who are using a simple system to generate consistent, motivated leads, not the usual time wasters. If you're open to seeing what's working right now, I can show you the exact steps, no pressure, just info. Let them respond, and I'm simply going to ask, would you be open to a 15-minute Zoom in the next day or two to see if the kind of impact this could have on your business, right? And then when I connect to the Zoom, I've got this, and then I've got a series of questions I'd be more than happy to send over, but let's kind of stop there for a minute. You guys feel free, and you can torch me whatever you want to do. Again, I don't have any. Let me just say this before we start throwing. What I keep doing right now, I find myself, instead of just sticking with one script, I'll try a script for a week. One, it just helps me to play around a little bit with it. I'll also maybe 1 week focus on Remax agents, 1 week focus on KW agents, right? Then I may use this script for a week, use this script for a week. One, it just keeps me fresh on my toes. I like to kind of change it up and stuff. So with that said, any comments or questions about that first call that we had with Brittany?
It's pretty darn amazing.
Yeah, you
Man,
think so?
all of those were terrific, man. I'm in awe. So there you go.
Now, Jim, are you making calls yourself right now?
I'm trying to reach out. I haven't been consistently making calls. There's a couple of agents I've been trying to get a hold of. I've done things like call them up and say, "Hey, congratulations," and then I actually sent like iPhone video to them, just see if I could get a meeting, get a coffee with them or something. But
Yeah. And do you find when you make the 5 calls, do you generally connect with at least one every time you do that for the most part?
the 5 calls, I've been inconsistent, big time. So, yeah, and I'm just getting started, dude. I've been studying this stuff and trying to get my game together. So.
The only comment I have on that, Jim, and I'd be more than happy. I know that there's a couple of guys in the with the Tractify and stuff, Eric Orlin and Randy Bird, that are making calls. If you guys wanted to do something like that, thank you. Be more than happy to schedule a day where we get on for like 2 hours, and either I can just sit and make phone calls and you listen, or we could take turns. Different things like that. I'm completely game, but if you guys
Thanks for that offer. I appreciate that. No, it's great for me to hear you do it. I mean, it's just it's really good scripting too. I mean, I love the way that flows, and the stuff that Kelly had was great.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, thank you, Kelly. Because again, I kept it nice and brief, but all I'm learning about scripts is find one that you feel comfortable with. So when I read Kelly's, it didn't feel comfortable, even though I kind of set an appointment with Brittany. It still just felt that I thought all I got to do is just massage, and I just tweaked it 30-40% to where I feel comfortable. Because, right, kind of like Eric says, this 500-pound gorilla, if you don't feel comfortable, and I still get the same jitters almost every day I make calls. Well, I can tell you what, if I have a script and I feel comfortable with it, and all I feel like is I'm getting ready to bring massive value, it makes this way lighter, right? And getting on the call, again, guys, all last week, I didn't have anybody. No one ever, I shouldn't say ever, very seldom is anybody ever rude or short with me. I'm talking 1 out of 50 conversations might somebody be a little short. Most of the time, they're kind of open, and you get the normal objection stuff. We can talk about that. But any other comments real quick before we listen to Eric's call or get some comments from Eric? Anybody?
And Sean, I didn't hear anyone else's comments, but I'll share my own. Great conversation, relationship building that you do. That's awesome. With the second call, the guy was a yes, and you were setting an appointment, and then you went into the 7 things.
Very nice.
Not necessary in my mind.
Yeah.
I don't know if that was already said.
And not only that, I agree, Kelly. I also realized I should have maybe turned that into a question. Hey, just another 30 seconds so I'm more equipped for our Zoom coming up. I'm just going to run by these 7 quick little things. Tell me if there's 1, 2, or 3 that you'd like to focus on our call. Yeah, so if there's anything I love about what we've done, me listening, and I told Eric this over the weekend, I talk too much. You need to ask a question. But I don't realize that, Kelly, until I go listen to my calls.
So true.
Like, shut it off, ask the question, stop. ask a question, stop, set the appointment, get off. So anyway, it's great for me to listen. That's why I said I'd be more than happy to make calls one day a week for a couple hours if anybody wants to do that kind of thing. But thanks for the
But Sean, I think, and that's the only thing I wrote down. They were all great calls. Same thing Kelly just mentioned on that one. He'd already agreed. And then you kind of randomly went into that. But I don't even think you should have asked a question. Once they agree to the appointment, set the appointment, and then build that rapport and ask some of those questions on that second call, right?
Yeah.
Not like once they set the appointment, then just wrap it up and set the appointment is my thinking. I wouldn't keep on. And then I would bring all that 7 things into the next call.
Yeah. And I've noticed those 7 things. I just gathered that if I get on that initial call, build a little rapport and stuff on the front end, and we start off with those 7 questions and ask them, what are your 1, 2, or 3? They generally tend to throw it out. Well, now I know exactly kind of what their pain points are and where we're going. But anyway, great feedback. And I agree.
Sean, could you, I want to nail down could you do once a week where we're all on Zoom doing our calls? And I do that with Michael Hignan for listings in the morning. I mean, I know he's going to be there at 8 a.m. So sometimes he'll leave, it's just a desk there and the fan going, and he left a note. I got to run. I'm taking the kids. But it's for me where I am, and you open it up. I'm going to say, could you set a time where, even if it's just an hour a week, where that Zoom, that way I can, for me, the culture of what you're doing is what I want to be around, so that I build that muscle for that next conversation. And personally, I've had so many second calls fall through that I am doing much better by adding what I can with the rapport building on that first phone call. And because realtors are busy. And so thank you for that. I mean, the rest of you are all more experienced at this. I could see where you would have a better vibe for it, but I need that. If you nailed it, I'm like, this is the Zoom time where I'm going to be doing calls, and I can be doing my calls and hear you as I'm doing mine. And if it's an hour a week, I know you're in Colorado. Could you do that like in the afternoon, or when do you think you could do something like that?
That's a great question. I've had a little better luck with not as many voicemails if I do it before lunch. Afternoon, again, and I'm open, but
right. Me too.
Okay. What about from if everybody's cool, what if we do it at Tuesday or Thursday from like 10 to 11, or heck, I have no problem going 10 to noon, going for 2 hours. So people want to pop in and out and that kind of thing. But if we picked a Tuesday or Thursday, does it matter to anybody?
I could do both.
Yeah, we have classes at 10 o'clock every day.
I'm talking Mountain Time.
Mountain.
Yeah, after our Zoom. I'm sorry. Mountain Time, 10 to 11 or 10 to noon, Tuesday or Thursday. Any preference? If not, I'll say let's go Tuesday. Gives us the next week. Because I'm trying to learn also. I've heard most people say when you're asking for that appointment, in the next day or two, try to not go out a week or so. Next day or two. So let's do Tuesday. That kind of gives us Wednesday, Thursday to try to set Zoom. So we'll put it on our team calendar for those who want to come in every Tuesday from 10 to noon Mountain Time. And I'll make live calls, and I'd love to have anybody else who wants to participate. I do not have all the answers. I'd love to hear any of you make calls, right? I learned from listening to any of it. So anyway, we'll start tomorrow, 10 to noon. Okay?
Thank you. What kind of link? Will it be the same Freedom Team link, or you're going to create a different one?
Is that open, Eric and Kathy? I'm assuming 10 to noon.
So 10 to noon your time?
Yeah, Mountain Time. Let's go.
Yeah, noon, it's open.
Okay.
And may I say this, rather than every Tuesday, I'll say this. Sean's committing to the next 2 Tuesdays.
Okay.
We'll see who shows up to see whether we're carrying it through the holidays. Okay. Lastly, Kelly, I think Sean might have put the longer script.
Yeah.
Will you put the short version or the one above it? Sean, will you put that in the script?
I will do it right now.
And so, anybody have another question about Sean?
Oh, go ahead, Eric. Sorry.
No, Kathy, go ahead.
There's Kelly's.
I was just going to say, I had one other thought about your script when it said, when you've got, I see your average price is X. Have you thought, one more deal over the next 12 months? Do you calculate that out ahead of time?
I've got in my mind right now, I already know what 400 grand does, 4.8 million. So I've kind of, and everybody seems to be around that. So whether they go 350, 450, the number's kind of in my head, but anybody.
But then break it down to commissions. So, because if they do one more deal, 12 a year at 425,000, that's about another 100 grand a year.
About
It's 5 million. It's $1.5 million.
About 144 grand.
150,000.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
I was calculating like at 2.5% because not everybody does 3. But anyway, regardless, it's 100,000 a year, 100,000 plus.
And that's what I want to. That's what I want to kind of ask them also, Kathy, because I mean, obviously, people would love 1 or 2 more deals, but do they really go, okay, wait, here's the numbers. What I made an extra 140 grand. What kind of impact would that have on me and my family, or me and my business?
Good.
And so I just want to see if that grabs a little bit more. There's a number. Yeah. And then I like to kind of say, because what I'm seeing with the funnels, and then midst of that dialogue, then I'm going to say, listen, I can tell you this, almost, I don't want to say guarantee, all of our agents at most, at a minimum, tend to do at least 8 to 10 additional transactions that first 12 months. We got some adding an extra 15 to 20, but I want to be conservative. If I could add an extra 8 to 10, that'd probably still be about 100 grand. Would that be something that would have an impact on you? And what would that be like if you had an extra 100 grand coming in? And just do a little bit on the call, a little bit more digging to where they're the one telling you, they're agreeing with you, and they're starting to kind of think, God, what if I had another 100 grand? And this guy's getting ready to show me how he can make an extra 10. I'm just open. Yeah. So anyway, this is all fun to me because it's now, what can I truly do to add value? And most agents I talk to are needing more leads. They want to do more volume. And we truly have a way to do it, guys, with the funnels and stuff. And just one last thing, that funnel stuff, like we've talked about, you can either co-sponsor if they're not within you, above or beyond your seven tiers, but you can always do FLQA sponsor, right? There's another way to do that. You can do that with anybody in your organization. I've done that twice with Jeff already. So anyway, that's open to all of us, but more dialogue.
Well, and one last thing about that, for people who don't have the funnels or don't, understand that, like, you can use that same script if they're experienced agents for what we're doing with FastCap, and just say, look, we've got a program that you work with our coaches for 6 weeks, 3 days a week for an hour a piece. And if the agents that are doing the things that they're being taught in there, are also, selling actually about 15 deals, 17 deals a year, right? If they're experienced. And so that's another flip or an additional, in addition to even what you're talking about. Yeah,
that's a great idea. Thank you.
And using the word, like, and we learned this on Reese's calls on Friday, is Woods talks about a lot, is working with our coaches. Not like, oh, we got a FastCap program and, this is what it does, but it's work with our coaches for 6 weeks.
Yeah, love it. That is a great idea for everybody if you don't feel comfortable with the whole funnel thing.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, Eric, man, I'd love to listen to your call.
Yeah, of course you would. Hey, everybody. Real quickly, let me say this. We all find ourselves, first of all, great job, Sean, and all the feedback has been awesome. We find ourselves in 3 groups if we're in here right now. One group are people who are making calls. If you're making calls, then variation of scripts are always helpful. And I'm going to come from a traditional script, whereas Sean has moved into the lead generations direction. Okay. So I want you to understand, it doesn't matter what you're saying as long as you are comfortable with what you're saying. Here's number 2. There's a group of you that are intermittent. Jim said this earlier today, I'm not doing it as often as I should. We stop and go and stop and go and stop and go. There's 2 reasons why people are intermittent. One is you've not committed to doing it. And the other one is you let other things get in the way. So I want you to understand, if that's who you are, all the training in the world is not going to alleviate you answering those 2 questions. And that is, why am I building a revenue share organization? Why am I doing that? And will I commit the time? because until you answer those two questions, you're not losing weight on a diet, right? So again, number one is, why am I doing this? And am I going to dedicate the time? Just save yourself the headaches if you're not going to commit to both of those things. I'm doing this because if you bring 5 capping agents, it's 20 extra grand this year. And if you help them bring 5 capping agents, it's $50,000 every year. I'm going to say that again. If in 2026, all you did is bring 1 a quarter and add 1, get 1 done before the end of the year and bring 1 a quarter, you're going to make an extra 20 grand next year, which is a great advertising budget. It's a great VA budget. Covers your cap. And then help them do what you just did, which is just a few minutes every day, committing to go get what you want. See, it's committing to get what you want, but you need to know what you want so you can commit. So that's the second group, and that's most of you. And then there's the third group. You just really need, I've had this said by, I'm thinking 4 people on this Zoom have said this. I just need a kick in the butt. Okay. And so the point is, if you're here, you can recruit agents. So let's move you from, I want to do it, but I'm not, to doing it. Ready? I want to do it. So how do you move to the next group? You start thinking about why I want to do it and what time I'll commit to it. And don't say, I don't have time. You don't have time because this is not me saying this. These are experts, not me. You don't have time because you're a bad time manager. I'm not saying that. But you're spending 15 minutes doing something. Spend 15 minutes making a couple calls. And do it before lunch because, as Sean said, it's just everybody's fresher before lunch. But I can't do it before lunch. I can only do it at 4:30. Then do it at 4:30. And then how to get to the third group, which is the ability to do what Sean's doing effortlessly. Honestly, about 6 weeks worth of work. If you do this for about 6 weeks consistently, you will be as good as anybody here. Okay, so let's use the next 6 weeks during the holidays as that warming up period. And let's set yourselves up so when you get to 2026, by the way, agents are moving like crazy right now. Right now, November, December, they move like crazy. But why don't you use this practice period so come January 1st, you are rock solid. And it's a great time to do it because you can skip Thanksgiving for 4 days and you can skip the week of Christmas and I stopped calling the 20th and start calling again on the 27th. I find the 27th, 28th, 29th, and 30th to be 4 of the best days of the year. Because people that answer their phone, unless they got a year-end closing, they're in a great mood. They're over the holidays. Right? So again, this is the great, and I know you hear this for different reasons, but listen to this reason. This is the greatest period to set up the best 2026 you could ever have in attraction. Okay. So with that said, I'm going to pause. Anybody have a comment or statement about that or a question about what we're covering? Anybody?
Man, if I add just one comment back to what Eric said, you're figuring out that why, and you always talk about dream and belief. I would just ask yourself personally, not to get into anybody's details, but are you on pace to retire? Every one of you here, are you on pace? Are you going to retire when you're 65? If not, this right here, if you did this for 3 years in just 15 to 30 minutes a day, it's going to lead to some Zooms. But Kelly, real quick testimony. You've been at it just over 2 years. Am I right? For the most part, you finally put a focus on it. It's taken you 2 years. You're now over 100. And that's making you an extra what?
I'm covering all my household bills with my rev share now.
All your household bills.
Yeah.
Which is pretty substantial. Several $1,000s every month. Minimum.
Yeah, over 5,000 every month.
So in 2 years, Kelly finally said, you know what? I'm going to do this thing. She began to focus on it. 2 years later, over 5,000 a month. All bills and stuff covered home. That is significant. You imagine now she's good. Not that she wasn't good. She's gotten really good. I can't imagine the next 2 years, Kelly. It may way more than double. It may triple or quadruple. And all of a sudden she's going to probably be well over 5 figures passively. And guys, that's like having $4 or $5 million in the bank. So if it took her 4 years to do that, what are you doing right now that 4 years from today, if everything is covered, you had more than 5 figures a month coming in, what would life be like for you? How would you feel? How would your spouse? You got to take that deep into your core to go, I'm going to do something different because I don't want to look up 4 years from now still worried about how am I ever going to stop doing this? How am I ever going to retire? So that's my little soapbox, but something's got to grab you. I don't know of anything better than this, and I don't want to say easier, but better that can have a significant impact in the next 2, 3, 4 years. Huge impact if you just made a commitment. So go ahead, Eric.
John,
Thank
let me add one thing. So I think most of you know I'm also in financial services, and I retire people every day. A lot of them are doctors out of the VA making $300,000 a year. They've had to work 30 years to get a $3,000 to $4,000 a month pension. I was able to surpass that within just a couple years working at this. I have seen no other system, whether it's securities, real estate investing, which I do a lot of, no other system that can create this kind of wealth for us. We are so blessed to have this opportunity. Okay, Eric, yours.
Well, three things about your situation. Number one is, and we haven't referenced it, so I want to. When Kelly started this, she went on a focus for 90 days, but it really wasn't 90. It was really a 1 month target, May, 2.5 years ago, a little over 2 years ago. And she made May matter, right?
I did.
And so I want everybody to understand that it's a 30-day focus rolling into a 6-week understanding, rolling into a 90-day momentum. That's probably the best way I like to call it. It's a 30-day focus for a 6-week understanding for a 90-day momentum. Now, here's the other thing you're not understanding. Kelly did all of this without offering funnels, without offering opportunities, without offering extra deals in the way she's thinking about it. And I think, Kelly, you agree, this is what you're doing now. Your script is, for you, more compelling than the one that you originally learned, right?
No question.
That is a question, right?
No,
So
no question.
And I don't take offense because I'm going to tell people right now, I use the original script.
And Kimberly, you asked, what did I use? I used the original script.
It's right here.
I started with it.
It's also sitting in, I sent it in the chat box, and it's based on one hook, only one hook. The hook is, would they be curious to know why 80,000 people have moved to one company and what could be in it for them? Now, that hook only works if they're open-minded. So I want you to understand the concept behind recruiting anybody, using anything, is based on, are they open? And can I hook them? And that's the word used in today's world. Can I hook their interest? Because they'll look because of the word, most important word in any recruiting of anything, one word, curiosity. Are they curious? Is their head in a position when you call them, which you have no control over, and what you're saying motivating to them, which you have full control over? Okay. So I'm gonna play a quick 3-minute call that I made, and then we're gonna go from that. But I want you to understand what Sean and Kelly have just talked about, and Kathy have talked about, is utilizing more volume. That's the hook. But they had to hit someone that was open. And you're only looking for people, listen, who are open. You're not looking for people who are interested. You don't know if they're interested when you call them. You're only looking to see if they're open. If they're open, then they can become interested. It's much easier because, understand, most of your calls will go to voicemail. And so you're worried about making calls, what to say. We're giving you scripts. But it has nothing to do with you. It has to do with whether they're open and your hook causes them to be interested. Does that make sense? You're Dan Earl, you're working too much because you're working too hard because you're thinking too much. It's the way it works. We're thinking about it. We spend more time thinking about what we want to do than doing it. Proven fact, we spend more time thinking about our next vacation than how to pay for it. We spend more time thinking about what we would want to do in retirement than how to pay for it. This is the meeting. This is the only place you could be on the planet right now in this Freedom Team Zoom to hear, you know what? What I want next is at the other end of a habit that I'm not possessing. You want retirement? There's a habit you have to do right now to get retirement. You want agents to flock to you? There's a habit you have to create, and that habit is to do it daily. And you're not going to do it daily unless you understand the basis of, I'm looking for open people that respond to my hook. It's as simple as that. So here's old script, still works. Ready? Here we go. Sean, Eric Golden, EXP out of Orlando. How is the other coast doing?
Oh, beautiful out here. Sunny day today. In the middle of something. How can I help?
Yeah, well, if you're in the middle of something, I'll make it really, really quick. I am part of a large group of agents here at EXP, and I'm not asking you to change brokerages. I'm sure everybody else is calling you, trying to get you to do it. But I did notice, you're a really good agent selling a good amount of real estate, and I'm curious to know whether you'd be curious to know why 80,000 people have come to just this company, as long as two things. Number one, you took it as a compliment that I'm calling you. And number two, that I'm not expecting you to move, but I am expecting your jaw to drop when you find out one or two things you didn't know. Would you be open for a 15, 20-minute sort of discovery call?
Discovery. But I'm not going to move. I appreciate the call. I get a whole lot of calls from you guys.
Sorry about that. I'm sure none of them are as nice as I am, but let me leave you with one thought, if I can. Can I leave you with one thought?
Yeah, sure.
NAR says 1 out of 3 agents know they're going to move. 1 out of 3 agents don't know, but they've moved for the right opportunity. And then 1 out of 3 literally are getting all the leads they need from their company and are pretty much at 100%. Can you be open-minded to take a look at how I can get you leads that you're probably not getting, and show you how we can make this like almost 100% commission situation? Would you be open for 15, 20 minutes for me to show you that?
100% commission?
Well, there's a way to do it. Yeah. Yes, sir.
Yeah, I would investigate that. I've got to cut the call short. When could we talk again?
Well, I'd love to jump on a 15, 20-minute Zoom so I can show you some things, but I don't want to book a Zoom if you're not likely to show up. So I think, we're both professionals. Worst case,
yeah,
you could refer Disneyland to Disney World, and I could respond the opposite way because I'm in Orlando and you're in LA. So, but let's book a time. Are you better early in the morning, late in the afternoon? You tell me.
Yeah, good question. I'm actually better early in the morning. My day starts at about 6:50.
Oh, geez. How about 8 a.m. on Thursday morning your time? Does that work, or would you rather do 7:30?
Let me look. Hang on a minute. Let me look at the calendar. What day again?
Thursday, or I could make it Thursday or Friday.
Let's do it Thursday. You said what time?
8 or 7:30 your time.
Let's do it at 7:30.
Perfect. I have an email address, but confirm it to me. What's the best email? So, comments, questions, thoughts?
I love it because, like you said, just right back to the curiosity. Would be open to making that extra. Would you say an extra? Not an extra $100,000. What did you say? Because he said, 100%.
Yeah, 100%. I can show you how we could get you to 100%. By the way, let me answer that because this is what I say to people. If you were at EXP or any other, your KW, what's your cap? 15, 18, 20 grand? Yeah. If we had one extra $500,000 house that we gave to you, right? We're going to generate all kinds of leads and more business. If you had one extra house, wouldn't that pay all of that? Oh, yeah, it would. Well, then let's make sure that you don't move if you don't think you're going to sell more houses, right? It makes no sense to move to a company unless you're going to sell more houses. So let's make sure that you're going to feel good about selling more houses before you never move. Yeah, okay, that's fair. And that's the way I satisfy someone getting them to 100%. It's not the way the EXP will take it out, but it is the way at the end of the year that it's accounted for. So let me say 3 things about what I shared. Number 1 is, again, it goes back to the standard. He was open and friendly. When Sean talked to the 3 people he talked to, they were open and friendly. And I know some of you are thinking, but the people I call, they're not that nice. And the answer is hang up on them. There are nice people out there. Even this guy said he's in the middle of something and he's busy. He kept me on for 2.5 more minutes. Right? These are knee-jerk standard reactions that don't affect me or shouldn't affect you as the caller. You just stick to your script. And did you notice when I asked him a question, I waited. I didn't fill the time slot. I waited. So would you be open to 100%? Yeah, there's a way for me to show you how to do that. And just let him fill the void. And that's another issue. We get nervous and start throwing new information in. Right, Sean? We talked about this. You start throwing new stuff in. This is a very simple thing if you understand it. I got it written in my computer right here. I challenge the way people think and bathe you in simplicity. Here's the simplicity. If they're open and you present them a hook and they become interested, they will book a time with you. It's those 3 pieces. So if they're not open, don't take it personally. If the hook doesn't get them, move on to the next person and just don't question whether they're going to allow you to have a meeting. They will. There's enough people out there looking for what we have to share. By the way, I also said something that Sean didn't say. I think it's important to say. I did say, hey, look, I'm part of a large 2,500 person organization. And that way it opens all of us to feel like we're part of something bigger than ourselves. And that person that you're talking to isn't just judging you. He's understanding you're part of something bigger. So we got a couple minutes left. Any other comments about anything that I covered my way or that way? Go ahead, Dan.
Any chance you have any of your Zoom meetings recorded?
When you say Zoom meetings, you mean call sessions or meetings?
What I mean is like this, what you just played for us, and you set an appointment for a follow-up to tell them why the 80,000 agents came in. Do you have any of those?
Yeah.
So you showed us how to present the hook, but then once you get on that Zoom call with that other agent, I'd be delighted to. I don't know if you have any of your Zoom calls recorded that you could share.
I actually don't have them recorded to share, but here's what I'll tell you I do.
Okay.
And Sean may have some recorded. I don't know. Kelly, you might. So it follows like this. Dan, okay, great. We're meeting now Thursday at 7:30 your time. Today's Monday. I always repeat, today's Monday. We've got a few days. Make sure I'm in the calendar, right? I'm sending you an invite. Make sure we're both looking at each other bright and early. I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I have a 15-minute overview that sort of sets the stage for you to understand how my group operates. I'd love for you to watch it between now and then. And the first thing we'll handle when you're on the call is how to generate the leads that we're briefly talking about and get you to 100% virtually from the beginning. And you'll understand it once you digest the information. If you get a chance to watch the 15 minutes beforehand, great. If not, first thing we'll do is watch it, and then we'll answer the question. Okay? Now, you can send them my 15-minute presentation. You can send them, there's one from EXP, from Attract ROI that's 15 minutes. There's a 13-minute. There's lots of short videos. I always send them out in advance, but I also tell them we're going to meet and answer immediate questions. Unless you haven't watched it, then we'll watch it together. Okay, Dan? And that really dictates where it goes. Now, here's the truth is when we get on the call, first thing we all do, we've all learned to do this, so you should as well, is start talking to them about, hey, so tell me a little bit more about you. I want to make sure I present this the right way. So whether they watch the 15 minutes or not, this is the best time to find out more about them. How do you do that? You just be a good human. You just talk. We're realtors. We should be able to talk to people. I will tell you, if I'm talking to a man, generally I start through sports, right? Hey, you're in Colorado. You happen to follow the Broncos, see what they did yesterday? They eked it out. And I'm not really a football fan. Okay, great. Then I'll go to something else. But I start there and then we move into the market. If I'm talking to a woman, I generally, and by the way, I generally start, Kelly's intensely looking at me. I generally start with family. I will say something like, "Oh my gosh, I'm coming on my youngest grandchild just turned 7, and boy, time goes quick. How about you? You got kids?" And I'll go into a conversation, and I do that before I ever get into the business side. So what brought you to real estate? Nobody wakes up at 9 years old, you don't go into your class and say, I'm going to be a realtor. And they laugh and they move. I moved from whatever. And that's the way I break ice. And then I find out what they really like about what's going on in their life and what they don't. And that's the transition. That's the movement, Dan. Okay. Does that help?
Okay. Yes. Yeah,
and Dan, to elaborate on that, and you guys can get these everywhere. I just threw a handful of questions in. I got 15 questions there. And then when I'm on the Zoom, I'm going to ask you 5 questions. I just want you to answer them on a scale of 1 to 10. Again, all this is doing, because most people are willing to do that, right? On a scale of 1 to 10, where's your brokerage at and helping you with lead generation? They're going to tell you, right? 6, 7, 8. What all this is going to do is going to narrow down again what's going to be your focus after you find out what's really important to them. So whether that happens on the first call, like Kathy and them were saying, if I set the appointment, move. But the one thing I have noticed, just to give feedback to that, Kelly and Kathy, when I set the appointment, I know you're saying jump to the call. What I'm starting to notice, at least a couple of them I've done, I'm going to try to focus on it this week. Right at the end of the call, when we set the time, I'm going to say, first of all, awesome. So we've got Wednesday at 10 a.m. Central. Is that correct? Awesome. Hey, let me just take 30 seconds, ask you these questions real quick. I want to make sure that when we jump on our meeting, I know exactly also where to focus other than helping you with the leads. Let me run these by you. Tell me if there's 1 or 2 that jump out. I'm trying to solidify the appointment even stronger where they just gave me feedback on what's important to them. And to anything I can do in my mindset, I'm going, what's going to make them stick to the call? Someone made a comment a second ago about I'm setting the meetings, but very few are showing up. Well, if you just set the meeting and they agree, this is just what I'm kind of learning, and they agree to get on the call for my short little 2-3 minutes, that's one thing. If I take just another 30-45 seconds and ask those questions, say, it's going to run these 7 by you, won't even take us 1 minute. Tell me the 1, 2, or 3 that are most important to you. I'll make sure I'm also focused on our Zoom to answer that and show you how I can help you in that area as well. Then when they answer it, I'm just going to say, great. So we're going to focus on how to generate more leads, how to do this and how to do this. I will definitely be focused and ready for that on Wednesday at noon. Can't wait to visit with you then. All I'm trying to do is solidify that thing where they're going, they just gave me more info. This is what they want to learn about. I'm going to focus on it. I think it may help them show up more. That's all I'm going to do and add that extra 45 seconds. I'll let you guys know how. Well, heck, I'll do it on tomorrow's calls. I'm going to end the calls like that. So,
Eric, I would add to number 1, your posturing is excellent. You come across as this is the best thing for you, and I'd like to share with you why. Number 2, you didn't stop at his first objection. He was happy where he was, and most people would shut down right there. You just kept going, and you gave him enough to get his interest. That's why you got the appointment.
Well, and again, to answer everybody's question of what do you do when they push back? Everybody pushes back. Here's what you do. It's 2 letters and a comma. The letters are OH, comma, and then repeat what they say. Oh, so, okay, I hear it. You're not likely to move. Dot, 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 dot. I go right to it. Oh, and it works. It works for the right person who's open. Because you've gone around, they're at the screen door, they're at the front door, they look at, yeah, I'm selling encyclopedias, and they're like, and then I'm not interested in encyclopedias. Yeah, I mean, no one really is, but you got to see what I got here. Okay, they open the door. So just repeat it. Now, last thing, everybody's asking about scripts. I want to remind everybody, got to get there, is this. Everything we do, for the most part, can be found right here. freedomteamsupport.com. If you go to resources and marketing, Agent Attraction, by the way, has a number of the videos and things to do, but resources and marketing, if you go down here to Freedom Team Agent Resources, there's a whole bunch of this stuff right in through here. And here's Agent Attraction script right here. Okay? That's where it is. Click there. Ta-da! So this is the mothership. You can come back here. I'll call it the sister ship because I guess EXP is the mothership. But that's basic scripts that work. So as we close, anybody, Sean, this was fun doing this.
yeah, no, I agree. And I look forward to making the calls. I hope a bunch of you will show up, especially if you're hesitant. Just listen. I want you to just listen in on the calls and you realize I'm not doing anything special. I'm just following a script like Eric says and then taking some of that verbiage he keeps teaching us. And eventually, after you make 50 phone calls where you're talking to someone, all that other the little one-liners that Eric's taught us for years, they all just start to get ingrained in your mind in the midst of a conversation. You're not even looking at the script. it just starts to kind of flow back and forth. But that happens after you make a certain amount of calls.
And again, any other questions closed out? Don't forget, Thursdays, Kelly and I do a question and answer on how we do each of these. We get into your, I'll say to Chuck, what's going on with you? Dan, what's going on with you? We'll answer exactly what you got leading in for that week. So it's a great opportunity to come back on Thursday. We'll be doing it every Thursday this month, other than, of course, Thanksgiving. So any other?
Eric, the only thing I'm going to mention that wasn't mentioned is at the end of the call. I loved how you subtly said, I don't even want to schedule the appointment if you're not going to show up or something. I don't even know how exactly you said it, but I thought that was really good because now he's got it in his mind. Like, okay, now I kind of feel obligated to show up. For sure.
One of the things, thank you for noticing that. One of the things I've learned, and I didn't remember to teach it because I'm now doing it, is people are just flighty. And so I used to say this comment. I remember Brian laughing at me when I said this. When someone sort of pushes back 3 times, I'll say, is that a polite way of saying no? And people laugh at it all the time, but they'll answer you honestly and not feel offended. So what I do when I set an appointment, Kathy, is I set the appointment and then I move on a little bit and I say, hey, just make sure we're set for whatever. I'm going to be there no matter whether you watch the video I send you or not. That's when I do it normally, right? So be aware, we're going to watch it or we'll watch it together or not. But the reason we're on is because you are curious. I say those words and you should be. There's a reason why I repeat, it's the reason why 80,000 people came here. There's going to be something in it for you, Kathy. I don't care if you come or not, but there's going to be something that's going to make your jaw drop. I set the expectation. In fact, you'll see it in the video when I send it to you. And that gives them a reason to be more driven. So any questions before we say goodbye?
Thank you very much.
Yeah, you're welcome. Chuck, what do we got? Are you waving, Chuck?
Yeah, I have a question. It seems like I got in on the tail end of this. Is it because of the time change? I thought it was supposed to start at 10 o'clock my time.
Where are you?
I'm in Tucson.
No, is that West Coast? Well, yeah, you guys in Arizona. This is right now, 11 a.m. Eastern, 8 a.m. Pacific is when it goes every day. 8 a.m. Pacific, 11 a.m. on Eastern. Now, remember everybody, everything we do is recorded. You will find it in our YouTube page and our Facebook page. If you're not part of our Facebook page, go to Facebook, go to EXP Freedom Team and ask to join. But we also will have it again on our YouTube page, both in less 24, 48 hours. Okay, Chuck?
Yeah. Well, yeah. What that means to me is that it's 9 o'clock my time.
You know your time. Right. Whatever LA is doing, you're an hour ahead of LA.
That's right.
So, Chuck, let me add to it. If you didn't catch the call tomorrow, at least the next 2 Tuesdays, we're going to jump on from 9 to 11 your time, and we're just going to make live phone calls, or at least I am. If anybody wants to jump on and make calls, but so tomorrow from 9 to 11, if by chance you're open and just want to hear phone calls, and these are cold calls. So I want you guys to think about that. If you just get some of this info and it's down on somebody you did a deal with, or somebody you want to call about a close and they had it 1, 2, 3 Main. There's so many different ways you can start the approach, but if you've got any kind of relationship or you've got to weigh in because you did a transaction with them, those are the ones I'd call first. So I just want you to see, we can make cold calls and still set appointments with people we didn't even have any kind of connection with. So hopefully that give you more courage to make calls.